Hey guys, how's it going? I'm back with another video, and today I will be ranking the various counselors within Friday the 13th game from worst to best. Now, before we begin, I just wanted to go over a few things. One, I just wanted to apologize for not posting in quite a long time. I've just had other stuff going on and just really haven't had the time to post a whole lot. But I will try to post more often in the future, and I do actually have a really nice game as Jason that I want to share with you guys. And I get a really nice stock kill in it, but you'll kind of see what happens. There's a certain counselor that does something, and you'll see it when I post the video. The next thing I wanted to say is actually thank you to all the people who supported my Jason tier list. I would have never thought it would have done as good as it did. It has way more views than I would have expected. I know it's not a lot of views, compared to all the big YouTubers and stuff, but to me it's a lot, and I just wanted to say thank you so much. And in response to the success of that video, I wanted to make this. So again, thank you so much. It really means a lot. Now, with that being said, let's get into this counselor tier list. I will not be including Tommy just because he's not a traditional counselor. You have to call him in with a radio. So, keep that in mind. Tommy will not be in it. I think it'd be kind of messed up if he was in it because he would obviously be the best. And also I wanted to say that it again, just like the Jason video, it is all based on my opinion. So bear with me if your counselor is not, your favorite counselor is not the top counselor. I really took quite a bit of time to figure out the order of it. So now with all that being said, let's get into it. Coming in at 14th place is Jenny Myers. Now, Jenny Myers, in my opinion, is the weakest counselor, mainly because her main two traits are composure and luck. And I really just don't see those being very strong. Like, don't get me wrong, they both can be very beneficial in their own way. Luck, makes it so essentially weapons will last longer. You have a better chance of your weapons, being able to take a few more hits before they break. So, in that sense, luck is very good. But when you look at it, how weapons will last longer, so it's like, okay, well, Jenny can, really put up a fight. But then you look at her strength, and she's really not going to do a whole lot with those weapons. She's not going to deal not very much damage to Jason. She won't have a very high chance at all to stun him, using certain weapons. So, when you look at it like that, luck isn't really going to do a whole lot for her. And also composure, can be really good if Jasons are trying to do environmental kills because you can break out really easily. But if they're just doing a normal grab kill, the split second after the grab animation, you're dead. So it's really not going to do a whole lot for you, composure. And, she does have decent stealth, I'll say that, but, it's not the best. Her stamina is okay. She's slow. She's not good at repairing. So that's really all I have to say about Jenny. I just don't think she's a very good counselor. Coming in at 13th place, we have Vanessa Jones. Now, Vanessa Jones is what I would call a character who is a distractor. Now, before I kind of explain what I mean, I want to just go over how a lot of people look at these fast characters and they say, some will say like, oh, they can, find a part for the car, let's say, like the battery, and they'll bring it to the car. Now, and leave it there, and maybe like a Deborah or somebody will come by and put it in. Now, of course, that's a very viable strategy, but at least, from my experience also, if Jason's distracted, or maybe he's not paying attention a whole lot, Vanessa can get by usually with putting in a part quick, if they're good with their skill checks. Now, back to what I said with being a distractor. How I like to see these fast characters, you look at Vanessa, she has 10 out of 10 speed, 9 out of 10 stamina. Her luck's okay, but everything else, is pretty mediocre. When I see her as a distractor, I mean she's really good at getting Jason's attention, because she doesn't have good stealth, 1 out of 10. So she's going to be making a lot of noise when she's sprinting around, because as Vanessa, you're going to want to sprint around because of how fast and how much stamina you are. So I really like looking at these fast characters as characters who really like to get Jason's attention, and that's kind of how I use them. I like to get Jason's attention and say, hey, I'm running around and making so much noise, what am I doing? Why don't you, try taking me out, before I can do something to, help me and my fellow counselors escape, or, in a sense, or maybe even kill Jason. So I really like to use these characters to buy time for other counselors to get objectives done. And, of course you see, he's speaking so highly of Vanessa here, why is she so low? Well, she's really only fast and has a lot of stamina. She doesn't really have anything else really going for her. And I do believe there is a specific counselor who is a lot better version of Vanessa and can do more than just be a distractor. So with that being said, let's move on to number 12. Coming in at number 12, we have Chad Kensington. Now, Chad Kensington, I would say, is just a bit better than Vanessa, mainly because of his actually decent stealth and his very good luck. Being able to have weapons, be able to take a few more hits is strong. And, combine that with his incredible speed, he can really just get around the map and, be really good at distracting Jason, be able to, hit him once or twice and, just get him, get Jason to target him. I think Chad's just annoying, I think every Jason hates him. So, I think he's definitely a target, and I think that's what makes him a better distractor than Vanessa. Coming in at 11th place is Mitch Floyd. Now, when Mitch Floyd first came out, he was actually very popular. He is the first DLC counselor that we got. We got him with the Jarvis House and Part 4 Jason. But I think people soon realized, he's definitely not the best option. People might think of, a new counselor, he's going to be the best counselor. Well, at least in my opinion, he definitely wasn't. His composure's really good. Which can be good in some scenarios, but just like I said with Jenny, you have, grab kills that can be used a split second after the grab animation, so being able to break out faster isn't really going to help you there. And also, I forgot to mention with Jenny, composure also determines how big your, fear pool is. So, it takes longer for, Mitch and Jenny to get scared. But when they do get scared, it will take quite a bit of time for it to go down because that, pool is so big. And, that can kind of be a bad thing, especially if you're around Jason quite a bit. It can be hard to get it down or, even get away from Jason. His luck isn't very good, so weapons won't necessarily last very long. He has very good repair. I think Mitch, would be good if he sticks around objectives, maybe sneaks in with his decent stealth and repairs it quick. But there's just definitely better options for the role of somebody like Mitch, and we will get to those options as we move forward in this list. Coming in at 10th place is Adam Palomino. Now, I know I'm probably going to make a lot of enemies with this one because I know quite a few people have Adam here and one other specific counselor, usually in the top 5, but I have Adam here at number 10, mainly because I just don't really see him as a super effective counselor. Now, of course, this is my personal opinion, but I just, whenever I be him, I just don't feel like he's, one of the top tier counselors. He is strong, he's very good strength, he can repair. He has okay speed, his stamina's okay, he's not very stealthy, weapons won't last long with him, to use that strength. I think that's definitely one of his downsides. And again, I just don't think I think composure in a sense, as like a 7 out of 10 or a 10 out of 10, it can kind of be a bad thing, especially when you do get scared. So I just, I'm sorry, for those people who really like Adam, but I just don't really see him as a very super good counselor. Coming in at 9th place is AJ Mason. Now, AJ is just like Adam in that a lot of people have her and Adam, of course, as, super high tier counselors. But again, just like I said with Adam, I just don't really see them as, super duper good. She has very good repair. She is very, very stealthy. I think she's a very dangerous counselor. But she can't really hold her own, with her strength. She's really slow. She doesn't have very good stamina, and weapons won't hardly last at all with her. And also, just, again, with composure, just, I think if anything, it's more of a nuisance, especially when those fear levels get up there and you start getting that tunnel vision. It can be hard to get it to go down, especially if Jason's sticking around and, when he cut, if he knows to cut the power, it can be very annoying to have that super high composure. Coming in at 8th place, we have Kenny Riedel. Now, I bet a lot of you are thinking, how the heck does this guy have both AJ and Adam above Kenny? You look at Kenny, he's simply just your average Joe. He is 5 out of 10 for everything. But the reason I have Kenny above those two is, well, because of one word: potential. Now, what I mean by that is, basically, Kenny can be molded into any kind of counselor you want with the use of perks. If you have, very, high rarity perks, very strong perks, you can basically make Kenny into any kind of counselor you want. You can make him into kind of a, distractor role, have him have a lot of speed and stamina, maybe make him stealthy with high repair, somebody like, Mitch or, AJ or Adam, like just, kind of mix in anything you want, and that's why I have Kenny where he is just because, he's kind of, in a sense, create a character. You can make him into any kind of counselor you want with perks, and I think a lot of people don't really see that with Kenny. But when I was making this list, I just kind of thought of it randomly, and I was like, that's actually, I think a really good, observation of Kenny, and I think that might even make people reconsider their personal tier lists. Coming in at number 7, we have Brandt Bugsy Wilson. Now, Bugsy here is who I would say is the best distractor role. He is who, when I was talking about Vanessa and Chad, is the better version of those two. He has the speed, he has the stamina, and most importantly, he has the strength. Now, of course, you look at his luck, weapons may not last super long with him, but he can definitely lay a hit. And he's definitely very good at distracting Jason, in my opinion. And I think, really, you can even put him in more of a bodyguard role. If you have a counselor, asking for help, maybe a player, is trying to, figure out, what's going on, how to play. Bugsy can do a very good job of, protecting him, and letting him learn, buying him time to learn the game, because nowadays you look at all these veteran Jason's getting on and just pummeling, any new players. Some don't, hardly get a chance to really figure out what's going on. So, a Bugsy can do a very good job of protecting that counselor, escorting counselors with parts, and, just being a nuisance, like I said, like Vanessa and Chad, just getting Jason to get to target them and just, trying to buy everybody time with, whatever, they're trying to do. Coming in at number 6, we have Deborah Kim. Now, when I was talking about earlier with AJ and Adam, how a lot of people have them as the highest, and they would have somebody like Deborah and another counselor I'll talk about here shortly lower. I think actually Deborah and that other counselor do a lot better job than Adam and AJ, because their sole I would say role is to repair and sneak around the map. They can also in a sense find parts, but of course getting help from a Vanessa or Bugsy or a Chad to deliver those parts for them can be very beneficial. But I just think simply that's why I think Deborah is a lot better than AJ and Adam, is because her repair is flawless. She has incredible stealth, and also her you look at her composure. She's I think 5 out of 10 is actually perfect. I think if anything, like I keep saying, 10 out of 10, 7 out of 10 composure is more of a nuisance than anything. Deborah does have bad, pretty bad speed, pretty bad stamina, but I mean, if she, can utilize her stealth, I think, just fine. She can kind of get by.